Hi everyone. So, where do I begin? Last night's challenge was a very difficult one for many reasons. Let's start with the content. Let's start with what the challenge was. An incredible opportunity. HP and Intel presented the designers with a digital textile challenge. Well, actually, we presented them with the challenge. HP and Intel enabled the work to actually happen, and a wonderful firm here in New York called Dynamics actually printed the textile overnight, which was a remarkable turnaround time. But it's Project Runway. We don't have any time, so it had to happen overnight. And I loved presenting the designers with this opportunity because it's something that most fashion designers really do dream about. And it was an opportunity for them to display a different dimension of their aptitude, frankly. So they had, well, I'm about to say they had a good time with it. They were very challenged by it, and of course we had a very quick time frame. But I believe that with a couple of exceptions and maybe one glaring one, they did a really great job. And I was also, for the most part, I was really pleased with their design outcomes. There were some issues though, and I have to say that they ran the gamut, but one of them had to do with the textile on which we could print because there were limitations in terms of getting this done overnight. And I'm trying to think about how to talk about all this and make some sense. In a way, I'd like to talk about all the designers, but I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on forever. I'm gonna pick a few out. Let's talk about who was on the bottom. We had Mila and Jonathan and Anthony. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've seen the show, so you know what the outcome is. In Mila's case, I have to say I loved her print. Can I add one thing at this point also? Day one in the workroom, when I watched the show, because of course I have to watch it in order to be able to talk to all of you and to write my blog on mylifetime.com, when I watched the show I thought, wait a minute, the editors have mixed this up because these textiles are sitting on the table. It's only day one. They don't come in until the morning of day two. Then I realized, no, what we don't address is that we had this huge, gigantic printer that was able to print out the exact width of the textile, 54 inches, at the exact scale of the print. So the designers had on paper a replica, so to speak, of what they were going to get in fabric. So that's what you're seeing on the table, especially on Mila's table, because it looks like the print's sitting there. And in her particular case, seeing that print on paper, you could frame it. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful painting. And if any of you know the work of Morris Louis, Morris Louis, it was very Morris Louis-like in a manner of speaking. And if you don't know his work, Google him and look at it. Because it had the most, Mila's design, textile design had the most art impact in many ways. And I believe that that was her misstep, that she was being so, the word I used in the blog was reverential. She was sort of down on her knees worshiping this as art, and it's why she didn't manipulate it more. It's why the dress almost appeared as though it were an art piece. Well, the judges hated it. And Jonathan, I'm telling you, I'm still scratching my head over that. Maybe I have my own biases. He's a lovely, wonderful guy. I'm extremely fond of him. But I can be very objective when it comes to design work. I've had to be for 29 years in a classroom, and for now 7 seasons on Project Runway. I thought the judges were reprehensively, I can't even say the word because I use it so seldom, reprehensively inappropriate with Jonathan. They really chewed him up and spat him out, and I was horrified for him and embarrassed for them, to be perfectly honest. I thought they took it way over the top, and it was completely unnecessary. Okay, you don't like it, you don't like it, but they went entirely too far. And then there's poor Anthony, who we know went home. My issues with his design had more to do with the construction, and as I said in the blog, at this point in the challenge, in the show, we're way too far along for a designer to suddenly change a core aspect of the design work at the 11th hour. Anthony really needed to make this into a make-it-work moment. Take what's not happening and diagnose the issues and then offer up a prescription for how to fix the issues. And he didn't do that. Instead, he just abandoned the entire thing, and he ended up with this crazy quilt dress and this funny little shrug, and it didn't work, and it was poorly constructed. So we wave bye-bye to Anthony. All right. I'm going to say it right now. Maya should have won. They loved her textile. They even say it's the most beautiful print created by any of the designers. The dress was adorable. It was absolutely adorable. But she didn't win. I mean, I would have been happy if Seth Aaron had won, though he's won enough. All right, everyone? Let's give it to Maya. She's always in the top 3. She's never in the bottom 3. And she's never gone home with the loving cup. So it was about time, and it didn't happen. So who won? Emilio. And it's the first time that the producers allow the edit to really show Emilio's ire for me. It's been there all season, I want everyone to know, but for the first time it actually appears on air. And I'm a bit curious why it appears on air on an episode that he wins, though it doesn't, the judge's response to his work doesn't alter how I feel about it one iota. To begin, let's talk about the print. I thought it was dubious, independent of what it represented. I thought it was childlike, which is fine if your look's about wit or whimsy, if you're doing something that has a bit of a wink in it, but that's not what his work is about. His work is very serious. So the childlike quality or aspect, I won't call it a quality, of the print completely eluded me, and then I have props. Then it's what it said. It's spelled out no. It's spelled out S-A-E-S heart S-A-E-S, and this kept repeating, S-A-E-S, heart, S-A-E-S. Well, what did I see it as? You don't hear this on the show, though, but I was quite vocal about it. I thought it said, Emilia Sosa loves Seth Aaron. That's what I thought it said. In fact, you can see in the edit that there's this bit of a hesitation. No, listen to this little session we're having. I do nothing but hesitate. But they're taking that out. I don't know why. Because I think maybe Emilia Sosa does love Seth Aaron, but that's a whole other matter. At any rate, the judges acted as though he had invented fire. They were rhapsodic about the print. The 40s inspired dress, which for me was a very basic silhouette that concerned me, and I thought that the jacket that he designed looked like a little bed jacket you find with the Golden Girls, except that it was black. The bed jacket should have been in his print. The dress should have been black. They acted as though they'd never seen anything as grand and as beautiful and inspiring in their entire professional careers. I wanted to say to Nina, you know that word you like using so much? Referential, meaning it's reaching back to a particular time and era or to a designer today and bringing it forward in a way that's completely inappropriate. Where is the referential word? What happened? I was flabbergasted. It's the most flabbergasted I've been since last season when Ramon won for the green neoprene number. But at least Ramon was a sweet guy, and of course that's very personal. This is why I'm not a judge, everyone, because I would have had a filibuster and he would not have won. Maya would have won. And Seth Aaron would have had second place medal. And Emilio, I mean, I would have had him on the, well, would I have sent him home? Probably not. Would he have been on the bottom? Most definitely he would have been among the bottom 3. But that's not what happened. Anyway, really am babbling. The only final thing I'm going to say is, how about Heidi's necklace during the runway show? It's staggering. I wish I could remember the designer, because I spoke to her about the necklace and wanted to know whether it weighed a lot, because it's like this huge, gigantic chain link, but it's light as a feather. But it's really staggering. At any rate, fair to Emilio, and boo-hoo to Anthony. It was a very emotional show last night, and I wasn't happy with either outcome. Though is there someone else I would have wanted to send home? Yes, Emilio. I'm giving him entirely too much airtime. He's not that important, except that he's one of our remaining seven. Now remaining 6. Anyway, shut up, Tim. Bye, everyone. Next week, hopefully it'll be more fun.